Good morning, class 12. I am Sana Uzma from the Millennium School, Lucknow. Children, you will be happy to know that we are heading towards the end of the chapter electrochemistry. That is, the major portion of the chapter is already been done. And I hope that you people are regularly following the video. You are practicing the numericals given in your NCERT book. You are practicing the numericals from some reference books. And children, please keep on observing the type of questions which are asked in your board examination. Though I also keep on telling you the important parts of the chapter, the important topics of the chapter, and the important questions as much as possible. So now today I'm going to take up another very important topic of the chapter, that is Faraday's law, because just like Colroche law, just like Nernst equation, this is also one of the very common topic which is being asked in your board examination. So please listen to the lecture very carefully. So Faraday's law, before I proceed further in this topic, I would like to discuss with you the process of electrolysis. Children, the process of electrolysis is a common and commonly known process to you because you have already done this topic in class 10, in class 11. Electrolysis means lysis of any electrolyte in the presence of electricity. So obviously we will be studying about the formula pertaining to electric current, electric charge. So all these things will be applied here, and the law was basically given to describe the quantitative aspects of electrolysis. Quantitative aspects means we will be talking about mass here, the amount here. So as you can see here, a flow chart is given below, mentioned below, to describe in short what is Faraday's law about. It is basically, see, the first heading is quantitative aspect of electrolysis. So we'll be talking about the amount of mass that will be deposited at respective electrode and the relation between the two, that is the amount of substance produced and the quantity of electric current that is passed through the solution, electrolytic solution. And since it was studied by the scientist named Michael Faraday, so the laws are named after his name as Faraday's law of electrolysis. So without wasting much time, I'm moving on to the first law of electrolysis. As you can see here, the laws mentioned here, the statement of the law. Please mark this, very important, because in the recent 3-4 years, I've been observing that the laws are asked directly in your board examination. That is to define first law, to define second law of electrolysis. So you need to remember the statement of the laws as it is. The law is very simple. It states that mass of any substance deposited or liberated at any electrode, that is anode or cathode, is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through it or passed through the electrolytic solution. So as you can see here, a simple example is mentioned here, electrolysis of molten NaCl. If you remember from your past classes, that electrolysis of NaCl can take place either in molten state or in aqueous state. So when electric current is passed through this solution, Na plus is formed at one electrode and Cl minus is formed at another electrode. Cl minus will be obtained in the form of chlorine gas at anode and sodium will be obtained as sodium metal at cathode. So how do we find out that what is the mass of these substances deposited at respective electrodes? So this law made our work easy by simply saying that amount of substance deposited at any electrode is directly proportional to charge. And as you know, to remove the proportionality sign, we put some constant, which you can see. The constant is Z here, which is known as electrochemical equivalent as mentioned in this case. And what is W? W is the weight of substance deposited and Q is the quantity of charge in coulombs. So this is directly you can say related that amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to the amount of charge being passed through the solution. This is what the first law of electrolysis says. Now moving on to the next page. See, I have written the formula for Q here, if you remember children, Q is IT or Q is also equal to NE. These are the formulas that you must have done in physics. So you can also write W is equal to ZIT in place of ZQ. It depends upon what is given in your question, and accordingly you will be using the formula. And if I say that charge which is flowing through the solution is 1 coulomb, if the value of Q here becomes 1, then the W will be equals to Z. So how do we define Z here? We can say that Z is the mass of substance deposited when the current of 1 ampere is passed for 1 second. So 1 ampere and 1 second together means we are talking about 1 coulomb charge. Again I repeat, electrochemical equivalent is the mass of any substance deposited at the electrode when a current of 1 ampere is passed through the solution for 1 second. So this is what Z or electrochemical equivalent is known as. Now moving on to the second law of Faraday, which states that, first I am explaining you the law through statement and then I will tell you how it works. When fixed quantity of electricity is passed through the solution of different electrolyte, as you can see here I have taken 2 electrolytic cell here. The mass of substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to their equivalent weight. So you can see here, to explain this in a better way, I have connected 2 electrolytic cell. The 2 electrodes are connected like this, as you can see here. In one electrolytic cell I have taken AgNO3 solution and in another I have taken CuSO4 solution. So according to the statement of the law, it is saying that mass of any substance deposited or liberated at any electrode is directly proportional to the equivalent mass of that substance. So you can say that in this case I have taken silver salt and copper salt. So the deposited substance substance will be silver and copper at respective electrode. So the equation will be written as it is: mass of silver deposited upon mass of copper deposited will be equal to the equivalent mass of silver upon equivalent mass of copper. Now the question is, what is equivalent mass? Because I know many of you must be not knowing what is equivalent mass, though we have already done this in class 11. Equivalent mass is equal to, please children pay attention, this equivalent mass is equal to the atomic mass divided by n factor. In case of atoms, as you can see here, n factor corresponds to charge, or you can say it corresponds to the valency. I hope it is clear. Like in this case the charge over silver is +1 and in this case the charge over copper is +2. So you will divide if you want to find out the mass of silver, equivalent mass of silver, it will be equal to atomic mass of silver divided by 1, and in case of copper it will be equal to atomic mass of copper upon 2. So in these questions you will be needing this. Otherwise n factor has variable values depending upon whether we are talking about acid, we are talking about base, we are talking about salt, whatever it is. And when you are talking about just one metal or any metal, it will be equal to the atomic mass divided by the charge over it. I hope this is clear to you. Now coming to the important calculations related to these two laws that you will be applying in your numerical portion. So I have mentioned some important calculations here. As you can see, the first thing is I have mentioned here sodium plus, as I was dealing with the example of NaCl, so I am continuing with NaCl only. Sodium plus, to get converted into sodium metal, will be gaining 1 electron to form sodium solid. So 1 electron is producing 1 sodium atom. So if I say 1 mole of electron, then it will produce 1 mole of sodium atom. Now here, if you recall class 11's concept, 1 mole of any substance is equal to its atomic or molecular mass. Since we are talking about 1 mole of sodium atom here, so obviously it will be equal to the atomic mass of sodium. So 1 mole of electrons gained by Na plus, 1 mole of Na plus ion will produce 1 mole of sodium atom, which will be equal to its atomic mass. So I hope this much of part is clear to you.